So for example, showing up late to practice
yeah.
or something, like we don't show up late to practice unless you had a very good excuse.
Yeah.
And then here, it was just weird. Like some people just not showing up. I was like, okay, like.
We back. The Kasi Podcast live in effect. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us today. We're back, episode 8. I always forget, I have to check. Episode 8. We've got two very special guests with us today. It's been a long time coming, but you're here today. We've got Dan and Rae with us today. Thank you for being here. How are you guys?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Just moved house.
Yeah.
So made our way here. Just moved house. So yeah, a little bit tired, but the energy right here, we're good.
Appreciate it, Rae. How are you?
I'm excited.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. We know each other from uni, Dan, and I met you through Dan, Rae. You've been following us for a while because I remember when I first put up, like, sometimes I know what I'm gonna do, but I like to see what other people think about what I'm gonna do. But I know I'm gonna do it anyway. So I put up like a poll on my Instagram saying, oh, should I start a podcast or something? This is like 2 years ago in the summer. And you was one of the people that said, yeah, you should. And then straight away you messaged me like, oh, this is a good idea. Like, what are you thinking of doing? I was like, yeah, this guy's really involved. So when we started, we got to know you better. I thought, yeah, Dan's definitely someone I want to bring in. I hope everyone's happy with the new step-by-step program to June 21st. What do you guys think about that?
Really and truly, I'm just trying to concentrate on what we're doing, you know, and not be too concerned about outside influences. I don't care about June 24th. I just care about the gyms opening up. So we just want to get back in the gym, coaching our clients and making sure everyone is being healthy again, because lockdowns and everything, all right, we all can have our own opinions about that, but locking down everything and everyone and not having the gyms open, but keeping KFC and McDonald's and all them places open still.
Walk in, yeah.
Ah, man, I don't know about that. So yeah, once the gyms open up, everyone needs to come see SharpTraining and get right again.
Yeah, so used to both are PTs, personal trainers. Some of the people that I've spoken to, friends and whatnot, who like aren't PTs or anything like that, or anything of that world, I've also given them, when we're talking about what we should do, blah, 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 during this lockdown, I've been telling them as well, like, do you exercise? Like, it would help. And, it's just not like, first of all, it's not something they do out of lockdown. Yeah. So then to be in lockdown, for them to get the motivation to do it and how to do it. So I've heard a lot of stories from people who are not PTs, who don't exercise. So you used to be in PTs. How was the lockdown being for you guys? Like, how have you guys navigated through it?
Mainly just a lot of convincing people. Like, you'd feel so much better. You'd feel so much safer if you knew that, you had more control of how your body felt. Like, people say, they want to stay safe and be healthy, but it's like, from a PT's perspective, do you really? And so it's just been a lot of convincing people, like, start moving, start eating healthy, do what you need to do for your immune system. It's kind of the same conversation over and over. But I like having that conversation with people because it's like educating people is a part of the job, and it's a fun part of the job. So
it's the point you raised about, gyms are closed, but you can still walk in KFC, McDonald's and whatnot. It's like, where are people's like priorities?
Exactly.
Like, the people who are in control. It's a bit annoying, but it's the way it works.
But I think people need to take their own control back of their lives a little bit more, and people are too quick to say, oh, government have said this, so I'm just gonna do nothing. And there's still certain things that you can do, and if you can't go to the gym and you're not exercising, take care of your diet at least.
Hey, that's the whole other entity in itself. Talking
for
about diet.
For real.
Yeah, so I met you, like, we connected, we're like-minded, and then I started to see the things you do, and I was like, like it interested me a bit more. Like there's a bit more to you. So you have your business, SharpTraining business. It's SharpTraining.
SharpTraining, yeah.
Yeah, talk to us about that. Tell people what it is, what you guys do, and
So firstly, when I met you at uni, being older, being a sort of mature student, I was looking around and saying, who are the guys, who are the girls which are, you know, a little bit more mature in their thinking, you know? And so when I seen that you posted that you wanted to do a podcast, and I was like, you know, that's entrepreneurship right there. That's, you know, thinking a little bit more outside the box than, you know, I'm just gonna come uni and just go out drinking and partying and BS, you know. So I rated that. That's why I was backing it, you know. It's a positive thing. So that's why, you know, I got connected with you, Usher. So yeah, man. So yeah, SharpTraining. I started SharpTraining a while ago, like 2013. And more so just personal training and coaching sports. And then when, you know, I moved to London, and then I sort of stopped because of studies and that kind of stuff. And so SharpTraining, that sort of stopped. And I met Rae, and we were talking about, you know, how we see sort of sports and strength and conditioning and fitness and all that stuff, and sort of what needs to change and how we would like to see it change. And sort of our mindsets were very similar in that sense. So we decided to, you know, create SharpTraining 2.0. And, you know, now we're, you know, a limited company. And we took part in the UEL E-Factor, so the entrepreneur business competition, and we got to the final. And yeah, it really helped us with business ideas and sort of direction and that kind of thing. Yeah, so
I was really excited. Like when I met Dan and he told me about SharpTraining, I was like, oh my God, that's sick. Because like coming from, if I wasn't going to come to London, I would have started something similar to what we're doing now, just in the States and stuff. And then he was telling me about SharpTraining, and it was mainly like for basketball, like focus. And I was like, let's do the same exact thing with strength and conditioning. And he was like, sick. Okay, let's do it. And we just came from completely different sporting backgrounds, which is why like we had so many ideas about where like sports in England should be. Because I'm still getting used to like the mindset that people have towards like sports and youth athletes. Yeah. Like it's just so shocking.
So we'll break it down. So so we do strength and conditioning for athletes, mainly youth athletes and sort of grassroots level, because that really doesn't exist in the UK, and we're very far behind the States in terms of strength and conditioning. We have strength and conditioning for top level athletes. The scholar athletes at UEL get that, but you know, apart from that, you know, if you've grown up from the youth levels and you're not sort of at an academy or something, you might not have, even some academies don't even have strength and conditioning. So I went through basketball, and you know, I was playing Division 2 level, and we didn't have strength and conditioning, and I was just getting fit and staying in shape, or getting fitter and getting in better shape on my own, you know, off my own back. And obviously I was a personal trainer, so I knew what to do. To a certain degree, strength and conditioning is another level up. And yeah, so then, you know, I was speaking to Rae, and she's saying how, you know,
I've been lifting since 13.
So the strength conditioning has when you came in, right? Because you did your master's in it.
Yeah. So I did my bachelor's and master's in it, and then that's really it.
So that's where you came in and really helped out.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
It was a sort of marrying the two together of sort of the sports in the UK and sort of the structure and everything, and how strength and conditioning works in the States, and sort of combining the two and seeing how it could work in the UK. So we're still, you know, obviously the pandemic and lockdowns have sort of halted and slowed down the progress, you know, for a small business in its first sort of couple of years. To have a pandemic is kind of tough, but we're still making positive movements in the right direction.
What because that's an interesting point you raised. I didn't really think about how EU sports is structured in the UK compared to the States. what are some of the things you saw, some of the differences that you thought were good or bad? Because I have never really thought about it until you said it. I was like,
yeah, I mean, from my I came from a very like privileged aspect side when it comes to sports, but I think coaching wise, like more intense. Like
It's more
coaches can
intense.
demand more
here
from
or States?
in the States.
Okay.
Yeah, coaches can demand more from their athletes in the States
In terms of
like commitment.
okay.
So for example, showing up late to practice
yeah.
or something, like we don't show up late to practice unless you had a very good excuse
Yeah.
or like it didn't turn out good.
Yeah.
And then here, it was just weird, like people showing up late,
Yeah.
some people just not showing up. I was like, okay, like
I mean, what the level with that was in the States where it was that sort of discipline. Was that a high level or?
Yeah, I would say that's fairly high level. But everyone, if you're into, I feel like if you're into sports in the States, you're trying to play at the highest level that you can.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because I know firsthand a lot of people that, you know, from adolescent age, from teenage ages who join sports because it's the what to do.
Yeah.
They don't know what else to do. They don't know what they're really doing yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can speak for first hand. Like when I was in college and I went to a football college where I was studying sports degree and I was playing football. I was serious. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do sports. I knew I wanted to play football, but I really only went to that college because they applied. They gave us football. But I was with a bunch of kids that didn't really want to play football too tough and didn't really give that much care about the sports degree. Yeah. So it could lead me to ask the question, why are you here? Yeah. And then I started to understand as I got older, you know, some people like go from the communities where from they find themselves in situations where they think about the chances of, well, I say football here because that's the biggest sport, but they look at the chances of making it in football and they're like, I don't think that's going to happen. And they don't really know what else to do. So they think, I'm in like a college now where I have free choice to choose where I want to go. What do I do? Oh, let me go play football because where my guys are playing football. And so I think when you get to the higher levels and where you get to sort of academy levels, then yeah, like, you know, guys then at that age know they've got a real chance. They've got backing from the club and wherever they are. They know like, yeah, I got to be there because someone else can just take my spot real quick. But I think the lower ages you go and the lower of the level you go, then you do find situations like that where, you know, people aren't taking it that serious. And
yeah, they definitely can play it for fun. Yeah. Like, I think that definitely happens. I just think there's so many levels in the States of elite athletes. Yeah. So you have your high school elite athletes, you have your university elite athletes, and then you have your pro academy elite athletes. And there's just so many levels that you can be great at and really good and be considered a really good athlete.
The structure in the States is very different though, and sports is put on a pedestal a lot more than in the UK because, you know, college athletes
on TV.
Well, high school athletes will be trying to be
on TV.
And they'll be trying to play at the highest levels possible because then they want their full scholarship to get into college, university, and then they can get their education for free, completely for free. That's major, you know. So, you know, they have to, and then it's way more competitive.
That's probably, just thinking about, probably one of the biggest factors why like some people take it so seriously in the States is because they know the publicity in it, they know where it can take them. Whereas here, there's not hardly any of that. Like, unless you play at that academy level.
And that's why the strength and conditioning in the States is of the level it is, because they want to get the most out of their physical attributes and their talent, you know. So if you have natural raw talent and then you combine it with, you know, you can be a physical specimen, or you can be the best physical version of yourself by doing the strength and conditioning, then you're gonna have a phenom athlete, aren't you? And that's why it's at the level it is, because we don't take it quite as serious in the UK in that sense. That's maybe why strength and conditioning at the lower levels isn't really there.
One of the things that I really respected about what you guys do is last year through was it through lockdown? I don't remember, but you guys were putting on some sessions for some people, and you invited me down. I came down to get it, to join and see how it is. And you know, the sessions, the stuff that you was doing, it wasn't stuff that, you know, I've been playing football, I've been playing for teams since I was a kid, since I was like 10, 11. That stuff wasn't, the stuff you guys were doing was not stuff that I would ever do in training sessions. Now, I haven't played in like academy levels consistently, so I don't know if they're doing that there. But for the teams I had played for, I definitely wasn't doing anything sort of what you guys are doing with strength conditioning and explosive work, whatever it may have been. So that was something I found really interesting, and I understood the necessity of it. You know, I understood that there are so many people right now that would, if they were doing this kind of work from 14, 13, 15, at 18, 19, they would be like different levels.
Yeah,
but
real.
it's like, unless you're at a certain level, it's like you train in like twice a week for an hour and a half. That's it. Everything else, if the club and the coaches do promote you to do stuff outside, they would guide you on how to do it. But you know, there's not enough that time or resources for them to give you extra time. That hour and a half that they have to train you is crucial to specific football stuff and fitness stuff, which is, the fitness stuff was just like running all that circuit training, and that was it.
The football coach at those levels, if they're not, you know, top academy, but even like the levels that you've played at are still decent level. But that the coach, the head coach or whatever, has to be a coach of many different aspects. And then, so the fitness stuff is, they're not going to specialize in it. They specialize in obviously the football skills and that kind of thing. So, I mean, this is why, you know, we sort of have gone down this route of sharp training and strength and conditioning, is we can then go to sort of sports clubs and help them out, help them, and you can then, these sports clubs can then have strength and conditioning within their sessions and sort of implement it and sort of make sure that the coach can then concentrate on their football skills and that kind of stuff, and then we can show the athletes what they should be doing to maximize their potential.
One of the other things that I found like I was surprised by, but like, so like it caught my attention, was in that session I went with you guys, we did a little like a meditation sort of thing, which was something that if you had like told me 15, 16, 17 that, you know, I'm with a football club and we're going to do a little meditation thing, I would be like, what? What are you talking about? So talk to us why you feel that's so important to incorporate things like mindfulness and meditation in your,
so important.
Your sessions.
I think from my point of view, like when I first started like uni ball, like the mindfulness came in. It didn't really come in as for mindfulness. It came in to like improve sports performance. And like I really didn't know that much about it, but I just remember there was one instance where I was just like watching myself, you know, and doing some visualization, doing these skills. And then I had like a sick game afterwards, and I was like, oh, it's definitely because of that, you know? So that's kind of how I got into it. And then just really realizing that, you know, slowing things down, being at peace with yourself carries over into being successful as a elite athlete. And when you're trying to get like the one up, coming from a competitive side of thing, anything that gives you the one up is huge. So I may, for example, volleyball, I may not be like the tallest or whatever, but if I'm smarter than you and can see other things than you, then who's the better athlete? So first it started with just improving sports performance, and then as I learned more about it and got into it and just became more of a spiritual person and how the world is set up, like it's just an important skill that you need in everything. And as coaches, we should be preparing, you know, athletes and students for life, not their sport, but we should be preparing them for everything else that they're going to deal with.
It's so vital. Mindfulness and the process of positive thoughts and positive thinking, like it makes you think, why has this not been something people have been focusing on like so long ago? Why does it only take the past 5 or 10 years or so for people
don't know about it, one, and then again there's that stigma of like Buddhism and meditation and being all Zen and everything, which is a part of it, but it's not. It's so multifaceted. Like
Kobe Bryant was always meditating, man. So like this is another thing, because I've always been exposed to spirituality and spiritualism, you know, from my mom, my granddad, that kind of thing. And then anytime I was going through personal problems, you know, my mum would give me advice, and it would be like, you know, through spirituality, and I'd be like, oh, this spiritual mumbo jumbo, whatever, mum, you know. But as I got older, I started to realize, you know, actually, like, my mum was right, you know, and just because it wasn't, I didn't think it was cool, you know. So I was, when I met Rae and we started speaking about spirituality and that kind of stuff and how it can impact our sports, especially, you know, and then sort of applying that to kids playing sport, and how do we get that across? And, you know, if it's coming from us, as, you know, we're not that much older than them, and I'm a guy that, you know, still plays basketball, and, you know, I still listen to the same music and that kind of stuff, you know. I'm not that far removed from what they're into. And if it's coming from me, you know, they might be able to, it might resonate with them a little bit more. I'm not coming from, you know, I'm not in a, I don't know, you know, what a Buddhist monk wears, you know, in a hoodie like them, you know. And it's helped me massively. It's helped me massively in sport and in life, you know. So, you know, especially now, you know, when all, like, you know, thoughts and feelings and stress is at high level, if you can sort of detach from those emotions and be mindful and be aware of those crazy thoughts and feelings that are incessantly happening in your head, then you get a breathing space, you get that calm. And if you can apply that to your sport, you know, I was especially in the last few years of playing, was getting a little bit more anxious before I was about to step on the court, and I didn't like that feeling. I never had that before, and so I had to start doing a little bit more meditation, breathing exercises, and that kind of stuff to just calm the nerves down a little bit, you know. And I know players go through that, so it's important.
Yeah, if I had that understanding to do that stuff before my games when I was younger, it would have helped me massively.
Yeah,
because I had the moments as well where I knew my ability, but sometimes for whatever reason, the fear of making a mistake or getting something wrong, especially in position I play, sometimes that would impact me to the level where I couldn't show what I'm capable of. You know, so I wish I had that as well. When I first really, I don't really know how I got introduced to it, but when I first really started to understand meditation and mindfulness, I just looked at it as in a way of just understanding yourself. I just looked at it a way of just better understanding myself and my thoughts and being aware of myself. I can see why people have them social connotations to it, but I don't know, for some reason I didn't get that. I just got, when I started doing it, which I started doing naturally, I didn't plan to meditate. I just started being more in touch with certain things like nature and whatnot, and going out certain places and just taking a second. And then after a while learning about meditation, what meditation is, I realized, oh, I've been doing this slightly a bit. But yeah, I think that's like, we just somehow need to find a way to show people that you're just learning about yourself. That's really all it is. When I do it, I'm clearing away all the just excess stuff, all the external stuff when I do it, and what's left is whatever's inside me that I feel like needs to be addressed. And I don't know why. Yeah, it's a big thing, but you know, it needs to happen. What were some of the types of ways that you guys thought about doing this? Was because when I was with you, we sat us down and we had it was a quick session we had. Was that what you guys had thought of doing at first, or like how did you try to incorporate these sort of mindfulness sessions?
So we just wanted to do strength and conditioning first, and then speak to the athletes about meditation and breathing. So usually we start with sort of some sort of meditation or breathing exercise at the end, just to, you know, after you've exercised hard and your heart rate's up, okay, can we do some breathing now? Can we now go from this intense exercise to then the exact opposite, and can we now calm down and bring awareness to our breath, and then get into a state where, you know, we're just only focusing on the breath and we're not thinking about anything that's going on in our head. And then, so for most of these young athletes, it would be the first time they've been exposed to this kind of thing. So, you know, thinking nothing is a weird concept, you know? So, just, we sat down, we were in the park, weren't we? And we sat down and, we just took some time to breathe and then only focus on the breath. And it was, I know a couple of the guys said that, you know, they got something out of it.
Yeah,
you know?
that situation I was in, I was like, obviously I wasn't like, it wasn't alien to me, but just being in a situation where you're around people who are all doing it for a second, like, after a minute, 90 seconds, I was like, I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is, like, you say you're thinking nothing, but for me, I don't feel like it's nothing.
Of course.
I feel like it's like the things that are hiding in your mind.
It can
that
be.
should be addressed.
Like getting to know yourself, just listening. And like, it's good to do it, you know, after sometimes, especially if you haven't been exposed to it, because it's just really easy to like feel your heart going faster. So you can easily pay attention to it. You can feel the heat on your skin, or you can feel your breathing slowing down. So it just makes those sensations just a bit more noticeable at the beginning.
I just want to show my appreciation for you guys and thank you, because not specifically what you've done for me personally, but what I know that you guys are doing and trying to do. Like, even in this last lockdown, you know, you guys have been doing free online sessions, strength and conditioning sessions on Zoom for our young athletes.
Appreciate that, man.
That's not something that people are doing. Like, that's not something big communities with big sports companies with the resources, that's not what they're doing. So the fact that you guys are doing it and you're doing it on your own accord, I just want to applaud you for that. And even making sure that you're still incorporating these mindfulness sessions within them online sessions. Like, I've done it with both of you, and you know, you stop for a second after, just talk about what's been going on in lockdown, how people are dealing with it. And how did that come about, first of all, doing online sessions?
The first lockdown. We're still trying to sort through things, but yeah, like, just still being in contact. We know that people by now are just tired of online, based off of just speaking with others. But and not all of the sessions need to be, you know, hardcore fitness 100% of the time. Like, it's more about,
even though you guys do put me through a pace,
we still make sure to slow it down, you know, at the end, because at the end of the day, like, the main focus, even as strength and conditioning coaches for others and ourselves, is just wellness. Like, just be good with yourself right now.
We have to make sure that the athletes and people that want to exercise and you know, they still have some, we want to be there to, you know, help these people and give them the resources. And we come from a place where we want to help first and foremost. So we knew we had to, you know, jump on the online stuff. And even though we would rather be coaching face to face, you know, because that's not possible, we had to jump on the online stuff. And we wanted to offer some free services because we know how tough it is right now. And let people know that there are those resources out there for them to, you know, get their mind right and have the tools there to help their bodies and their minds through this time.
Real quick, I understand you guys focus a lot on young athletes, and it's not just basketball. Or is it specifically basketball athletes?
No, we do multiple sports. Yeah, we've got football teams and work with volleyball teams.
Want to do some tennis?
Do you guys? That would be interesting. I like tennis. Do you guys? How much do you guys? Are you focused on athletes specifically, or?
Well, the thing is, like, we want to redefine what athlete is.
Okay.
And so, like, I train my older clients. I tell them I train them like athletes.
Yeah.
Because,
okay, cool. Sure.
Like, you should still be running. You should still be jumping. You don't, like, athlete doesn't mean you just play a sport. It means that you want to move to your best potential.
That's so good.
Most people train either like a bodybuilder. Most guys will train like a bodybuilder. And just get swole. You know, and mirror muscles and that kind of thing, which is cool. You can do that. Or, you know, people will be just doing cardio, pure cardio. You still have to be able to move correctly, and you still should be able to jump and bound and move laterally and that kind of stuff. You know, we've gone so far removed from what our bodies are capable of doing that we now just do everything in one plane of movement. No, we need to. And athletes move in multiple directions at different speeds.
That reminds me of a teacher in primary school, PE teacher. They called him Pyramid Man because his upper body was so out here, like shoulders out here, but he had the skinniest legs ever. They called him Pyramid Man. Listen, hey, athletes that are there that are listening, you need to get in touch with SharpTraining, get in touch with these guys. If you just want to better yourself mentally and physically. If my word is anything, I can vouch for them. And if you're not athletes, then get in contact. You're looking for a PT. Tell guys how to find you.
Yeah, so we're on Instagram, SharpTraining, and our website, wetrainsharp.co.uk. That's the best way to get in touch with us. Yeah.
I think guys for being here, man. Dan, Rae, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for having us.
It wasn't as long as I wanted to have you, but I appreciate you guys, and we'll sort it out later. We'll get another time.
We'll get another one in. Yeah, definitely.
So I appreciate you guys. Get in touch. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the love. That will be it from us for episode 8. Thank you, Dan Rae, for being here. Enjoy your morning, enjoy your day, enjoy your night. Stay safe, stay sweet, stay street. We're out.